Hey, night students, welcome back. Today's classes probably have you guys tired. A class that was supposed to be an hour and a half, we did at least 2.5 hours today via webinar online. And what we have today is actually something different. This is actually a puzzle, a minion slash penguin puzzle that we'd use logic skills in order to figure out. Now, usually I'm not a fan of these puzzles. I'll get them on WhatsApp, I'll see them on Facebook, and I'll just leave them because they're usually really simple and they're easy to do. And they have some catchy title like 99% of people will feel this. Only 0.00001% of people would actually come close to getting this correct. And usually you just brush them off. It'll take 2 seconds and you figure them out. However, I got this on a WhatsApp group and the thing is, I just ignored it until I started to see some people attempted to, and I don't know if they weren't trying, but they got it wrong. And I was like, wait, what? This group has some of the brightest people that I know, people that I went to school with. So, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a look at this puzzle. And when I looked at it, it is actually, there is a few twists and a couple of tricks in it. And this is a good analogy of the SCA exam. In mathematics, in section 1, questions 1 to 10 is a breeze. What they ask for you is usually what they want. However, as soon as you hit that question 11, we've seen time and time again, from 2001 all the way up to 2019 mathematics papers, we see that they actually introduce a twist, something to throw us off, something to throw us a little bit off balance. And if we're not paying attention, if we're not focused, if we didn't get enough rest the night before, if we didn't pay 100% attention to the wording of the question, it is possible for us to get it wrong. Now, on the outside, this puzzle looks just like those super easy puzzles that you get all the time and you finish it in 2 minutes. However, as we're going to go through it, we're going to do it step by step, and you guys will notice small little details that drastically change the answer. Now, what it does, it fools us, it tricks us into a sense of security. First things first, when you look at it, you see, hey, it looks just like the others. So we should treat every one of these as an entire object. But as we go down, we notice that that is actually not true. We see 4 balloons here. Over here, we have 3 balloons. And that is actually that's part of the trick. If you're not observant, you just see the balloons and you'll be like, hey, there's balloons, don't really bother about that. But they are actually very important. So let's work out the obvious and then we'll get into the non-obvious. Now, if you want to attempt this, pause the video now. Not going to give any answers as yet. And you guys attempt it. Remember, this explanation is actually for our students. So if it is a bit long, it's because I want to make sure they understand it 100%, right? Because this puzzle is kind of complicated. I'll probably do some simpler ones during the week. Again, since everyone is on self-quarantine, have a lot of time. Okay, so the first one, we see 3 things, 3 minions equals 24. Now, if I didn't point out the balloon, you guys would just be like, yeah, each one is an individual unit. So each one of them are the same exact pictures. They have the same amount of balloons, and because of that, they will be the same value. So it could basically, if you put it in mathematics term, x plus x plus x equals 24. So that's 3x equals 24. All you do is just divide 24 by 3, and basically we'll get 8 3s 24, right? So each one of these little minions with 4 balloons equal to 8. I cannot draw, you guys know this. I will not attempt to recreate a minion with 4 balloons. So we'll just put minion plus 4, I'll just draw a little balloon, equals 8, right? So we have the number 8 for that. So that itself is confirmed. Now, onto the second part of this puzzle. So we see we have 2 penguins, and these penguins are also identical. Oh no, the little toolbar with the pencil tools are blocking the other penguin. You guys can't see it, but it is here. So we have same minion dude as before, right? So we know for a fact that he is 8, right? So he is 8. So we have penguin, same penguin with bow tie. Again, that is kind of important because of the whole, we have a penguin here without a bow tie. That is another thing that is kind of cool. They took out his bow tie. So we have, if he is 8, and then we have penguin. So if we take 18 minus 8, that'll leave us with 10. So 10, and we have 2 penguins, divided by 2, equals 5. Right? So we know that Mr. Penguin, he equals 5. So penguin plus bow tie equals 5. Alright, so we establish that as a factor. Coming down to this part here, we have the minion with 4 balloons again. So we know this one for sure, right? Because we already worked it out in the first part of the question. Minion with 4 balloons equals 8, right? So therefore, 16 minus 8 equals 8, and we have 2 sets of these bow ties, right? So if we count this as 1, if we count this as 1, so we say 8, which is the remainder, divided by 2, will give you 4. So each one of these sets of bow ties equals 4. So 4 and 4 and 8, 4 and 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16. So we already reach this part. And this is where things... So, okay, no, actually, is easy all the way up to the last one. And that is where they have all of the tricks involved in it. So, moving on to part 4 of this question. Now, again, we just use prior knowledge, stuff that we worked out before. So, we have Mr. Penguin. And we know for a fact, let me actually change the color here. We know that Mr. Penguin, as we calculated before, he is 5. So, once we put 5 here, right? So 9 minus 5, and that will give us a total of 4. And we have 2 sets of these balloons, so we know that 1 green balloon and 1 red balloon, these both equal. So equal to, okay, so 9 minus 5 is 4, and we have 2 sets of the balloons. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So each one, wait, let me change the color again. So green and red balloon will be 2. So that was simple. You guys could do that in your sleep. Now, answers, just now, let me actually check the chat. Answers that people proposed on the chat itself were actually, people said 21, then the moderator for the chat said wrong, somebody said 42, and then somebody was like wrong. So the thing is, those were the answers that these people in the chat who are super smart, they proposed. So where did they go wrong? My best bet is, well, again, 1, they probably wasn't paying attention, or 2, it was in this part. So the thing is, first we have an unusual thing. We have a penguin without a bow tie. So if we draw our attention to the minion with the balloons, what we can clearly see is this, right? So we notice that these 2 balloons here in equation 4, we'll call it, these equal 2. So therefore, we have 2 balloons, and 2 balloons equals 2. Therefore, 1 balloon equals 1, right? So each balloon has a value of 1. So we have Mr. Minion here. He have 3 balloons, but he's missing 1. So therefore, his value before, as we determined above, was actually 8. But if he's missing a balloon, it would basically be 8 minus 1 equals 7. So the value for Minion minus that balloon equals 7. Then if we look across to the penguin over here, we see this is a penguin without his little bow tie. He does not have any bow tie on. Why would he not have any bow tie? So if we saw that the penguin, we determined that the penguin has a value of 5. So he was 5 with his bow tie. However, he is missing his bow tie. And the bow tie from this equation number 3, we saw that the pair of bow tie, 2 bow ties, equals 4. So 1 bow tie would equal 2. So if we take 5 minus the value of his bow tie, 5 minus 2, that will give you a total of 3. So we have Mr. Minion with 3 balloons, he's 7. Then we have penguin with bow tie. He's 3. Now, finally, let's find the value of balloon and bow tie. And this last part is super simple. If we determine that the bow tie itself has a value of 2 and the balloon has a value of 1, then obviously this here would be 3. So here what I'll do, let me use the eraser tool, and while using this eraser, this will actually help, okay, good. The eraser will actually help to free up some space for us, so we can actually write the value of the full equation for the last equation. And then we'll get to see the final trick that they decided to pull on us, and that is where some people actually get it wrong. So for Mr. Penguin, we deduced that he was, change back to the pen tool. So we have Mr. Penguin, we determined that he was 3. Then bow tie as well as balloon, so balloon was 1, bow tie was 2, he's another 3, and then last but not least, Minion was 7. Now in this case, a lot of people who are accustomed to these puzzles, they know that every single thing is addition. This is where one of the tricks comes in. They actually have a multiplication sign. And what did we learn from that old acronym they taught us, BODMAS, B-O-D-M-A-S? So basically, with BODMAS, they actually tell us what we have to do first. So in this case, we have to do the multiplication first before we do any of the addition. So we put this in a bracket here. So we have 3 multiplied by 7. That will give us 21. And then we just add that 3. 21 plus 3. And the answer, the correct answer is 24. 24 is the answer. So guys, remember, when I make this for students, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. I am beyond sleepy, but hey, this was too fun to pass up. Instead of playing PUBG or Call of Duty, I was like, why not work this out? Should be fun for students to do. So guys, attempted, no spoilers please. Anyhow guys, have an epic night. Peace out.